Hi, good morning, everybody. I am giving you guys an update on me. I actually skipped a whole week because my kids were on school vacation. Boo! My whole week felt like it was 3 long weeks. But in fact, it was 1 week plus 2 weekends. And then today, our city decided to have a 2-hour delay. Why? I don't know. Apparently there was ice on the road. I didn't see ice. It was above freezing. It was like 33 or 34 degrees. I'm not sure. I went out in it. I drove in it. There was really no reason to have a 2-hour delay. But anyways, let me actually introduce myself first before I get down to business. My name is Dory. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy weight loss surgery on September 12th, 2016 in Hartford, Connecticut with Dr. Darren Tischler. I am 46 years old, 5'4". My highest weight ever was 350 pounds. My surgery weight was 300.5. I had seen the lowest was 169.6. And I've been fluctuating. I had probably about, I don't know, a 5-pound gain, 10-pound gain. Then I've been struggling lately, especially this week that the kids were on vacation. I just feel like I am stressed. I feel like I am expected to do a lot of things, and I have been emotionally eating. And so this morning when I first woke up, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I weighed myself and it said 190. So I was like 175 or something, maybe the last time I came at you. So 190 was like, this cannot be true. So I just actually reweighed myself, and I had eaten and had coffee and everything, but it was down to 185, which is still wicked high from where I want it to be. And so I know I just need to buckle down on eating and kind of, yeah, just really get back to basics and intermittent fasting and stopping the carbs. So yesterday I had seen the day before yesterday that SJ from SJ's Journey, I think that's what it is. I forgot what she renamed herself. Anyhow, I think it's SJ in the USA, maybe? I'm so sorry. You guys know who I'm talking about, though. But she had said how she was going on an egg fast just to kind of keep switching it up on her body, because she's, you know, having success when her body, she doesn't do the same thing over and over. And that's usually how my body works. And so I thought, you know, I'm going to do the egg fast too. Not a big deal. I did it before for like 5 days. Of course, I had my husband home with me, and so having someone else do it with you is a little easier. And so yesterday was fine. Yesterday, you know, I went to Chuck E. Cheese. There was a birthday party. They had cake. And it was ooey gooey, yummy chocolate cake. But I didn't have any, and I didn't have any of their pizza, and I didn't have nothing. I didn't even have, you know, their soda, nothing. So I came home, and I had done the egg fast during the day. I had like 700 calories maybe in. And so I got home like at 6:30 last night. And so I hurried and got the kids some food and some other stuff before bed, like a bedtime snack or whatever. And then I started cooking my eggs. And so I started doing this thing that another person in the weight loss community did, and I posted on my Instagram. But basically you take cheese, you spray the pan, you take cheese, let it melt and start getting bubbly, and then you crack an egg on top. It gets nice and crispy. I flip the egg over to cook a little bit because I don't like it runny at all. And then I flip it back over and then fold it over like a taco. So when you cut into it with your fork, the yolk opens, and it's just really delicious, and it's crispy and it's great. But as I'm cooking it, it is not coming out right at all. It's bubbling on the sides. And of course, by this point, it's bedtime, you know, or around bedtime, because they went back to school today. As I said, they were on vacation, and my kids, all ages 10, 9, 7, and 4, all go to bed by 7:30 every night. Even on weekends, they're morning kids. They're not nighttime kids. And so even during the the weekends, they still go to bed by 8:30. I mean, 9 o'clock, the absolute latest, but that really never happens. But anyway, so I start getting them ready. Of course, they're tired and they're arguing and bickering, which I've heard all week because, of course, you know, they were in the house and we only went out a few times. My son was sick at one point, vomiting during the school vacation. And so it just was a tragedy. And so I just got so overwhelmed because I was hangry. I was hungry. Excuse me, I just wanted to eat. I just wanted to finish the day off. Feel like I accomplished something because I feel like over the last couple weeks I have not done well at all, especially the last week. And so it didn't come out right at all. I threw the egg away. I threw the whole thing away. It was runny. It was gross. Burned on one side. It just was not good. And so I threw it away. And what did I do is I ate 3 pieces of pizza, leftover pizza that I ordered for my son on Saturday. So I ate, you know, like 2.5 pieces of pizza. And then I had, I don't know, sour cream with a half of a little quesadilla, you know, like it's like, you know, the small white corn tortillas. I had like one of those with cheese, whatever. It wasn't that bad with that, but the pizza was horrible. Then after that, I proceeded to eat this cupcake. I went to a baby shower on Saturday. I had this leftover cupcake. I downed that. I just felt like I was so angry and I was so justified. Like, I'm just going to eat this and it's going to make me feel better because I'm pissed. And emotionally eating does not do it. It's something I always have done, and I really thought that I had it under control, or that I had gotten over it a little bit more than I guess I have. And so, you know, it exposed a lot about me and eating, and even doing the egg fast yesterday. I sent Sabrina a message on Instagram that I was going to do the egg fast, and I sent her another message that I couldn't believe how many times during the course of the day I think about food. And so I feel like I'm needing to detox my mind backwards now, because I feel like I feel like I'm just all over the place. I feel like so Scotty on Scotty RNY, he sang the song on one of his vlogs, and totally I can understand it. And it's one of my favorite sitcoms from the 80s, and it was Facts of Life. And so he sings, you know, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. And so I feel like that's me. Like, I have great things going on, but I have not so great things going on. And I normally don't let it bother me, because I'm more of a my glass is half full girl, always. I have always been like that. I don't sugarcoat things. I just say it. You guys know it by now. I say it. If there's something on my mind, or there's something I've done wrong, I admit to it. I move on. I get stronger from it, yada, yada. And so, you know, lately I feel like, you know, it's definitely more, I think, more of a spiritual battle, because I feel like I have overcome so many things in my personal life spiritually. Like, you know, a lot of idols I've had in my life, or like with, if you guys saw it on my Instagram, and I've talked about it before, I took a class called Financial Peace University through our church, and I've taken it twice, and I feel like food addiction is very much the same as like another addiction, money, spending, things like that. And I feel like growing up, my parents didn't teach us about money. It was just kind of a taboo subject. You never asked how much money someone made, but as a kid, you definitely see spending habits, even as a young child. And I think about that a lot with my own kids. So I had 2 kids previous to my last 4. So 2 children with my first marriage. And so my son's now 28 years old, and he just got married last September. And my daughter is 24. So, excuse me. So I was a young mom with my son. I was only 18 years old. My ex-husband was my first partner ever. Didn't really know anything about birth control, anything like that. I got pregnant at 17, had him at 18. We basically grew up together. But because I was raised in the household that I was with my parents, and not really being taught about money, I didn't really understand like the value of money, or not using money to satisfy other things in life. And so I grew up where my dad had money. He didn't have a lot of money, but he had things. And so my dad at some point, maybe when I was young enough to understand, my dad was an alcoholic, the greatest guy ever, like such a, sorry. So my dad passed away when I was pregnant with my daughter, who's now 24. So it's about 25 years. And so, in any event, he was a nice guy. I think a lot of my characteristics I got from him, like just being really giving. But in that, you forget like that you should be paying bills, or that you should be saving money, or that you should be righteous with your money. And so my dad would give it away, or my mom would mismanage it. And he didn't really care because he was drunk, or if he wasn't drunk, he was working. And so he didn't really have he didn't have a lot. When he died, he had like $5 in the bank. It was really ridiculous. And so anyhow, so fast forward to now, taking the class, I took it twice, and I just feel like it took me a long time to really get a grasp on money, and kind of that money doesn't make you. And I guess it's kind of the same thing that that food addiction doesn't get you anything either. Like it doesn't get what you think it's going to get you, or make you feel good for a moment. So when I was married to my first husband, he was equally as oblivious about money, and more so that he didn't even care whether I was spending it or not. He didn't care what I bought. He didn't care if we didn't have any. We would borrow, we would take out loans. You know, at one point back in like 1995, we bought a house. I had my son in 1990, my daughter in 94. By 95, we bought a house, we bought a brand new car. Like, on the outside looking in, everybody would probably have thought, oh wow, look at them, new house, new car, a new child, you know, a year old or whatever, and then, you know, she's got a 4-year-old and blah blah blah. But in actuality, we were slaves to the lender. And so having debt is not a good thing at all. It's very stressful, it's very overwhelming. The lengths you go to have to secure payments when you can't get the payments yourself, and then, you know, having a bad marriage to begin with was just not good for me at all back then. And so my older son has no concept of money. He works and he gets paid pretty well, but he doesn't have any money. He blows it on whatever he blows it on. His father, my ex-husband, convinced him to buy a brand new car in 2016, and I mean, it's not valued at hardly anything. And so the cycle goes on. But for whatever reason, my 24-year-old daughter, she is so opposite. Like, she has money. She banks all her money. Ugh, excuse me, I gotta get comfortable. So she banks all her money. She paid cash for her car. She has and she's only 24 years old, and she has a Roth IRA. She's got, I mean, she's doing very well for herself. And matter of fact, she actually came to my rescue and actually helped me pay for my teeth when I had to have my teeth redone at the dentist. And she lent me $1,000 the end of last year to pay my rent, because of course we were putting all Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University principles in place, but we needed to get the funds in order to continue to do that. So she helped me, and she was amazing. She didn't have to, and I told her, you know, I thanked her. And so I actually last Friday just gave her back her $1,000, and so that was great. So, you know, in the teeth, I paid her back for the teeth. And so I feel like I've come a long way in retrospect with money. And so, you know, I feel like this food addiction is kind of rearing its ugly head even more now because, as I told you guys last time, which it all came to fruition this past Friday, but we're debt free. And so part of my husband joining the military was to get us better with money because he'd be making more money than what we were making. We were definitely poverty level before, and he doesn't make great, you know, like we're not rich by no means, like that's crazy, but he makes enough that we were able to pay all our debt. We got our taxes back. We put money aside. Like, we did great things with it. And I wanted purposely to make him proud that while he's out active duty and he's not here, he won't be back till the middle of April, that when he comes home, he doesn't have to live one of those nightmares that a lot of people I know had to live. I mean, I have a friend whose dad was in Vietnam, and he would send his checks home to his mom. And when he got back from the war, his mom had spent all his money. He came back from fighting in Vietnam, seeing the most horrendous things, and his mom spent all of his money. And so I've shared that story with my husband, and he's known people who have done it. He was in basic training even this past October, November, and December with men whose wives are not supportive, men whose wives are spending their money, men who don't have any, like, weren't even getting letters at basic training. And so anyways, I say all this because I feel like we have gotten over a huge hurdle, and I want to show you, my friend made me this. I put it on Instagram, but one of the things that Dave Ramsey says is, he says debt is dumb. That's one of the things. Cash is king, debt is dumb. And so my friend cut up my credit cards I gave her, because I'm not, just because they're paid off to zero, they're gone. I don't have them. I don't keep them. Dave close them out, done deal. This or my credit cards, she made this debt is dumb thing, and then she made another one, and she framed this for me, but the other picture, and I think it's on my Instagram, but it's this picture, but then she has all on the bottom where she shredded like little chips of the card all over, and so it looks like confetti, and it's really cool, and I thought that was so nice of her. So we were able to pay off 4 credit cards, 2 personal loans. Let's see, 2 personal loans, 4 credit cards, and there was something else, one more thing. And so I'm proud of that. But in that, I feel like the spiritual battle is Satan is pissed because here I am going over one hurdle, and so this food thing, just when I thought I was doing great, is like, no, I'm so sorry, you don't have all your ducks in a row because you're letting your emotions dictate your eating. So this morning there was a 2-hour delay, and I prepped some meat, and I put it on my Instagram, and I just used ground beef, the corn and peppers that is at Trader Joe's, it's frozen. I used Rotel tomatoes, a block of Philadelphia cream cheese, and like 4 little Spanish olives. I think that's all I put in there. Oh, and only a quarter of a serving, or like, you know, a quarter of the can of black beans. And so I portioned that out in 1/2 cup sizes. And so my focus is only going to be intermittent fasting, at least 12 hours, and including not having coffee until the 12 hours is up. I'm gonna shoot for 16, but after 12, if I have coffee, I'm not gonna kill myself over it. And then eating my meal slow. So a 1/2 cup of food is not a lot. And so I'm going to test out the theory of not drinking 30 minutes after I eat, not until then, and then to be able to eat slow. So I'm going to concentrate on eating my 1/2 cup in 15 minutes. I'm gonna set a timer, and I'm not gonna allow myself to be finished before the 15-minute buzzer goes off. I think that's going to help me be more mindful of eating, and so I'm gonna see where that takes me. What else did I want to tell you guys? I think that's it. I want to tell you guys a trick though to saving money, or at least for me, this is one of the things that I'm working on. I have a budget now. So my budget, Dave Ramsey does money envelopes, and so we do that. I have a 4 money envelopes every 2 weeks when my husband gets paid that get filled. One is gas for our truck. One is my allowance. One is my kids' entertainment. Like if I'm going to take the kids, I don't know, to Chuck E. Cheese or I don't know, Yankee Candle, and they want to have an ice cream at Ben & Jerry's, whatever, that envelope. And then the 4th envelope is groceries. And so every 2 weeks, those envelopes get filled. I only work with what I have in the envelopes, and that's it. If there's no more, there's no more. We don't go out to eat, or I don't get anything. Like I have my nail appointment on Wednesday. I have my nails done. If I didn't have the money, I wouldn't do it. But groceries, this is huge for me. And so this was a game changer. And I'm so sorry that is going over 20 minutes for this video, but I feel like there's a lot of meat that I want to share with you guys. So for me, when I do grocery shopping, I don't usually have a list. But if I do have a list, I deviate from it sometimes. I will grab, I basically will impulse shop. It may not be something bad, but it's something that I probably don't need. And so I'm trying to figure out the needs and the wants and change that. But what I did to prepare myself for this whole budget, no debt, really training my mental capabilities toward money and everything, is I make a menu of what I'm going to give the kids every day for dinner. If it's a weekend, then breakfast, lunch, dinner. During the week, it's breakfast and dinner. And so I wrote out a menu, and I write it about 2 to 3 weeks in advance, what I'm going to give them. And I don't go off that menu at all unless like one of the kids was sick. Like Friday, my son was vomiting and he really wanted pizza. And I told him on Fridays we would order pizza, or we'd make pizza, or we'd do something with pizza. And so I just changed Friday and Saturday's dinner so he could enjoy the pizza. But anyway, so I go ahead and I make my menu, and I also include snacks that they're going to have, a little list of snacks, and what I'm going to need for each of those meals. And then here is the game changer. I go on Walmart.com and I shop per my list, and I search in the toolbar up at the top what exactly I need. I don't scroll through what they have on sale. I only scroll and search what I'm going to need. So Taco Tuesday's coming up. I wrote in ground beef. I needed some shredded lettuce, sour cream, and I think that's all. Oh, and my kids like plain rice, so I picked up packets of plain rice. And so that's it. And so what happens is they have this amazing thing. You can have it delivered, but to have it delivered, it's $10 for delivery, plus if you want a tip. So it cost me, the other day I was desperate and I couldn't go out because my son was sick, but I needed cat food and a couple other things, Motrin and stuff that I could not go and get. And so I paid $13, $10 for delivery, and $3 I tipped the guy. So I wouldn't do that again unless I was really like sick and I needed to do it. But it's free. You put in the order, you pay for the order, and then you tell them when you're coming to get the order, and you pull behind Walmart, and there's a big thing that says pickup in orange, and you park in a spot, and I have the app, so they're tracking me, and so as soon as I get there, they tell me, we see you arrived, your groceries will be coming out in a minute, and sure enough, they come out in these nice blue totes. They open up the totes, everything's fresh, they put it in the back of your truck or car or whatever you're driving, and then you leave and go home and bring it. And so for me, that is a game changer. I specifically shop for only what I need, and then that's it. And as I'm going through the week, and stuff like I run out of tampons or something, then I go ahead, put it in my cart, put it there, unless of course I can buy it cheaper somewhere else and I'm gonna be out and about and I go get it. But for the most part, Walmart has great prices. Some of the meat I wouldn't eat, but some I do, and so I just get it from there. But in any event, that has been a game changer for me. I have a budget. I stick to it, my grocery budget, which is probably where there was a hole and money was kind of going through there. So anyways, it's been a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you guys will share stuff with me if there's something that I should do different, or maybe something you've seen that I need to change in my eating, or I don't know. But anything, I'm totally open to it. I love you guys. I hope you guys are going to have a good week, and I'll see you soon.